Yo, what's going on, man? Today is the 17th of July. This is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA / WNBA show. Excuse me. Welcome in, man. Welcome in. Good morning to everyone. We have two games in the WNBA for today. We'll get into a quick recap of what we saw yesterday, go over the plays that I gave out, go through a couple of the comments as we always do, and then we'll get right into the two games that we have on the board for today. So no further ado, let's do just that. Let's do just that real quick. I'm just trying to change a couple things very, very quickly. We'll jump into it. All right. A lot to talk about. I know it's only two games today, but it's a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. So, like I said, let's jump into it. Yesterday, I gave three official plays. It was Washington first half, which we talked about on the show the day before, plus the two. A little sweaty. Enjoyable experience. Always enjoyable when you get to go to the game. When I get to take my son to a game, and I get to get some cash as well. That was great because chicken tender combo with fries and a souvenir cup is like $25 in DC, man. It's crazy out there. $32 to park your car for 3 hours too. But it is what it is. So Washington first half plus the two was a winner. Jumped on Connecticut when I saw Stewie was out, and that of course was a loser. And Alyssa Thomas just didn't play the fourth quarter. I know some people were DMing me mentioning me on Twitter, asking me why she didn't play. And shout out to KC. I don't know if she's in the chat this morning or not, but she did send me something over from Owen Pence, I think. And Stephanie White just pretty much said that, she wanted to get her some extra rest before the All-Star break. And I just said, wow, I wish, the bettors would have known that, because it's a winnable game. You know what? Y'all know what I'm talking about already. It's a winnable game. You're getting owned by this team. New York always beats y'all, and you want to rest her, and she's playing really, really well in a winnable game on the road in New York. So I guess Connecticut threw the game too, even though it looked like New York was, they didn't really care about winning the game because they rested Stewie. Benaje Laney Hamilton also, missed the game as well. It doesn't matter. Connecticut turns the ball over without Alyssa Thomas being there. I mean, brutal turnovers, just easy transition buckets for New York. But we did take New York team total under 82.5 at halftime. And you talk about a sweat. I mean, they ended right on 82. And thank God Connecticut didn't foul again, because we would have lost that one too. So we do go 2-1 yesterday. Kicking myself because, I did this show a little earlier, and you guys can see in the bottom right corner a lot of what we talked about, Cash. Well, pretty much everything, Cash. I said Washington first half. If you like the spicy, take them on the money line. They covered that. Chicago first half, easy winner. Chicago full game, easy winner, plus the 13. And their team total over 78.5, because when they cover on the road as a dog, they always go over their team total. And we see Kennedy Carter, man, absolute bucket getter. But the numbers on the left-hand side are correct. 56, 44, and 2 throughout the All-Star, throughout the WNBA season so far. Up almost 5 units with 4.83 units right now. Let's get into a couple of the comments before we start. The show for today. Let's see. Send figure hit it out. Figured out. Says big hits. Just saying thanks, Chris. Appreciate that, bro. T. Mitchell in here as always says top of the morning, Chris. Last day before the break. Let's get it. Absolutely. He says, don't forget to press that like button, comment, and share with your friends. Appreciate you, Mitchell. Appreciate you for shouting that out. Yeah, hit the like button for me if you guys can. It definitely does help the algorithms and helps the channel to grow as well. Wolfgang says, man, these ladies did me wrong yesterday. Interested to see what size you on. My boy Sai says, Kennedy Carter had something to prove last night. She absolutely did. I stayed up and watched the whole game last night. It went up at midnight. But yeah, Kennedy Carter looked like she could have played in the NBA last night, man. Kilo says he took the Sky plus 13 and the under 173 and should have cashed out when I had the chance. Never saw the Sky score 90 plus points on the Aces. Yeah, well, the Aces play fast and they're not gonna play defense. Boy, Kelsey Plum looked like a traffic cone out there last night. Boy, oh my God, Kennedy Carter had to go whichever way she wanted her last night. Boy, she looked terrible in defense last night. Offense too. I mean, she couldn't throw a rock in the ocean last night. She was standing at shore. She just looked terrible last night. I was thinking to myself, did Darren Waller come back into the picture? Like, her legs weak. Like, man, I haven't seen her look that bad in a really, really long time. Kelsey Plum has some bad games. Not that bad though. What's up to my guy Justin? More like Sway says, top of the morning. Nice call on that Mystics first half money line. Sky first half always worth a shot, but the Sun ruined my 3-0 sweep. I'm glad you played them straight though. More like Sway. 2-1, you'll take over a 0-1 day any day because you parlayed all of them together. Love that. Kilo says also, morning to you, Chris. Appreciate all the videos. Appreciate you tapping in, man. What's up, Donovan? He says top of the morning in the community. SRT says he took Liberty minus 3.5, then took him plus 2.5 in that game as well. He made some money last night. What's up, Tim? Says good morning, everyone. Great picks yesterday. Joe says he took the Sky plus 11.5 on a live bet early in the first quarter when they were up 15-3 and a sprinkle on the money line. He says, why the books had a plus 11.5 for the Sky, currently up a dozen points. Too good to pass up. Plus 8 unit game. Love it, Joe. Glad you cashed, man. Monty minding people to hit the like button. All right, let's get into some of these. Helms, what's going on, my brother? Hope all is well with you. What up to my guy David? Marquise in here. Lightbearer in here. Justin says, convince me my Atlanta Dream ain't gonna be taken out. We're gonna talk about it, Justin. We're gonna talk about it. Actually, the first game, one I do kind of want to talk out a little bit. PZ says top of the morning game was having a great day until Connecticut money line got crushed. This is the one right here. Chad says Sabrina cared. Sabrina look, hey, I was going through it last night. Like, who the top 5-6 bucket getters that I would put in front of Kennedy Carter? Like, who can like really get in their zone in the WNBA, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I was going through the list, and I was like, yo, Sabrina is high on that list. Like, when Sabrina really locked in, ain't nothing nobody can do about it. Connecticut's the number 1 defensive team in the WNBA, if not number 2. And Sabrina had her way yesterday. She had 6 threes against this team. And I'd be interested to see Sabrina on a team without Breanna Stewart. It does feel like she defers a little bit more. They all feel like they defer a little bit too much, in my opinion. But that might just be Sandy Brondello's offense in New York. Sabrina is top 5 though. She's definitely top 5 in the WNBA as far as getting buckets. It's just too. She don't need that much space. She does not need that much space. What's up, AOD? All right, what else we saying? Eric, what's going on to you, my brother? Ball talking here as well. I'm saying it's because Darren Waller dropped that song yesterday. He dropped the song yesterday. I did not see that. What I say, Casey? What I'm pausing on, bro? I don't know what I'm pausing on. What's up, Casey? Appreciate you for being in the chat as well. Let's get into some of these. What up to my guy Fred? Bill says, why didn't Bonner shoot the damn ball? You know what, man? I'm tired of Connecticut. If they play against a good team, I'm just taking the opposite team. They can't beat the Aces. They can't beat the Liberty, in my opinion. So I'm just not even going to look at the spread. I'm going to just take the opposing team. They can compete with some of the other teams. They can't compete with those 2 teams, in my opinion. So it'll have to be a bad spot for me to want to take Connecticut moving forward. What up to my guy Jamie in the chat? Good morning, Sarah. Chad says, I can probably convince you, Justin, but not betting it, so won't try. Connecticut are frauds. And when they're playing against good teams, they are. Let's get into the 2 games that we have on the board for today. First one being the Atlanta Dream and the Minnesota Lynx. This line actually opened, I think, at 8. I saw it open at 8. Then I saw it come down to 7. And then I saw it move back to 8.5 is what it looks like right now. Let me just double check it real quick and make sure it hasn't moved since I updated this about an hour ago. Actually, I see it coming down to 7.5, but 8, it looks like it's a consensus. And the total is up to 153, open 151.5. So let's jump into it. So for the Atlanta Dream, this is a team that has really, really struggled to win games. They have not really struggled to cover games, though, and that's the scary part. And I'd be remiss without mentioning the injury report. So Atlanta, they should get Ryan Howard back. She's actually not on the injury report, set to make her return after missing the last 10 games. but she probably will be on some kind of minutes limit because, of course, she hasn't played the last 10 games. Jordan Canada is still out for Atlanta as well. And then on the opposite side, Upopa is listed as out for Minnesota. And for the second game in a row, Nafisha Collier is listed as questionable. She didn't play in that last game. She was listed as questionable. If she does not go today, it'll be the 5th straight game that Fee has missed. So for Atlanta, 2 days rest, 5th road game in their last 6 games overall, which can be a spot where, and you're talking about the last game for the Olympic break, it could be a spot where, they just kind of run out of gas. Like I could definitely see that happening. Of course, they went to Seattle in their last game. They did end up covering that big number. I think it was 13 and a half. They ended up losing that game by 11. And the big thing that sticks out to me, if you guys look at seasonal records over on the left-hand side in red for the Atlanta Dream, they're 8-4 against the number as a road dog. I'm sorry, those are just road games in general. 8-4 against the number are the Atlanta Dream. And although they've lost 7 straight, and they only 1-9 straight up in their last 10, they are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games. In fact, if you look at that 8-4 ATS on the road, they actually tied with the Liberty. They tied with the Liberty and the Lynx for the best ATS road records in the WNBA. It makes it difficult to try to fade this Atlanta Dream team because they're going to continue to play hard. The offense, of course, is not going to be there. You can see that they're 12th offensively rated over the last 5 games. These are actually the 2 worst offenses. I'll touch on the Lynx in a second. But offensively, they're 12th in offensive rating over the last 5 games. Defensively, kind of middle of the pack. That's what they kind of hanging their hats on. And 11th in net rating over the last 5 games as well. You look at the Lynx on the opposite side, 2 days rest. This team has lost back-to-back games. This didn't say second straight road game. Second straight home game, I'm sorry. And they've lost back-to-back games. They failed to cover 5 of their last 6 games. And overall, if you look at the Lynx from the big picture of, post Commissioner's Cup, when they were able to knock out the Liberty, they're 2-6 against the spread since they won the Commissioner's Cup. This is not, the same Lynx team. And, you look for the deficiencies or what's changed, and it's their offense. They really, really struggled to score the basketball. 11th in offensive rating. It's crazy to think that the only other offense that's been worse than the Lynx have been the Atlanta Dream. I was on the Lynx in that game. Thought it was a nice bounce back spot against against Indiana on Sunday. We got a -1.5 in the first half, -2.5 for the full game. They still didn't cover. Their offense just really, really struggles. And like I said, the Dream playing pretty good defense. So I think it's a really, really difficult game to cap, especially not knowing if he's going to play or not. You do get double revenge here for Atlanta. Not sure what that's worth, but you get double revenge for Atlanta. They lost 79-92 back on May the 26th when the season first started, and they lost 68-55 on June 19th. They were getting 9.5 points in that game in Minnesota. That was the last game that Ryan Howard actually played when she rolled that left ankle really, really bad. So, I think this could be a dogfight of a game. I look at the total, it's 153. It is going up. Minnesota, like I said, really struggling to score the basketball. They are under in 7 of their last 10 games, 7-2-1 to the under. Exactly. 7-2-1 to the under in their last 10. Atlanta has actually gone under in 4 straight games as well. Like I said, this is a game where it wouldn't surprise me if one of these offenses finished with, 65, 67 points. And I was, looking at the beat. Last thing I'll say about this game real quick, I was checking the beat writers list when I was coming out of DC yesterday. And Eric Copeland, who covers the Washington Mystics, tweeted out a lot of the Mystics are headed straight to the airport for vacation. And that just made me think, like, man, the Dream, I can see being in that spot, man. Like I said, it's not only their offense the worst in the WNBA, but they're gonna be playing against a Lynx team that I do expect to be locked in here, man. So it does kind of make me want to think, maybe a Dream team total to go under. Neither one of these teams are really playing with pace. Let me check pace numbers real quick. Atlanta is averaging 71.6 points in their last 5 games. Worst offense over the season, over the last 5 games, over the last 10 games. And Minnesota is also averaging just 73.2 points per game. And pace-wise, you do got Atlanta playing a little bit faster. They are 3rd in pace over the last 5 games, but the Lynx are 11th in pace. They're actually the slowest paced team on the full season, and their pace has actually slowed down in the last 5 games from 94 to 92. So yeah, I could only look towards the team total to go under. Atlanta team total is 72.5. That's a tad bit too low for my blood, but maybe even a look towards the full game to go under. I think Minnesota struggles to get to 81 points. They could struggle to get to 81 points as well if he doesn't play today. So that's the way I'll be looking. Let me see what you guys are thinking about this one. I'll probably be looking towards the full game to go under. Just thinking that Atlanta hangs their hats on the defensive end as well. Ball Talk says Fisher going to play. I don't know if you missed it or not, but I said she's questionable. Second straight game, she's questionable. Not sure if she's going to play or not. The other thought process about Fee tonight is she's on the Olympic team, right? And not only is she on the Olympic team, but she is being coached on the Olympic team by Cheryl Reeves, who's her coach. So if there was one player, who you would want to be super precautious with, it probably would be your own star player. I could see Fee potentially sitting out in this game. Minnesota should win the game even without Fee in this one, because they're playing against an Atlanta Dream team, are my first thoughts. Let's see what you guys are thinking real quick. Let me go back up to the comments. Woke up to check thanks to them Lynx. I'm glad you cashed them, Josh. Glad you cashed them, bro. Young man Travel IG says that Mystics first half is golden. It is, man. It really, really is. I actually thought at one point, maybe like 4 or 5 minutes left, that they wasn't gonna cover. And I was like, the Mercury gonna wake up in this game. I didn't even notice until I got to the arena, but I couldn't even live bet. I was trying to take the Mercury and send them out at halftime when the spread was shorter. I couldn't even live bet. They changed it. Last year when I went to the game, you could live bet in DC, but you actually got to be at the kiosk at the Caesar Sportsbook, which was a little bit frustrating yesterday. I was trying to double up yesterday. Let's see. Helm says under a pass. I'll be right there with you. Chad says Lynx early and often. Don't trust the Lynx to close without Fee. Howard would take a little adjustment. And her win won't be up. So she shouldn't be much of an issue. And I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. I hadn't even heard anything about Ryan Howard even coming back. Like, they've been kind of keeping this under wraps. I haven't seen her ramping up or doing any kind of pregame work or any of that stuff. So I'll be with you here, Chad. I think it should be a Lynx early spot as well. They really hurt my soul the other day though, man, because I just knew that they were gonna cover the first half, and they literally didn't make a shot in the last 4 minutes of the first half. And their lead just went from 5 down to 3, and then it ended up being a tie. Bridget Carlton missed a 3-pointer at the end of the first half that would have gave us the first half cover at a -1.5. So yeah, I can't trust the Lynx offensively right now. They look really, really bad. Lord of the Realm says, I thought Liberty Sun over 153 was easy money, but it got tight at the end. Yeah, whenever you're betting on Connecticut in that jail, I think Ski calls them jail, that prison basketball that they play. Yeah, it can be difficult, man. Watching that team try to score points is, it's like watching paint dry. Jazz says he likes first quarter, first half. Let's see real quick. First quarter point spread for the Lynx are 2.5 for the first quarter, and first half they are probably 3.5 is what I would think. 4, actually 4.5. So you need the Lynx to get some separation for them to have a 2-possession lead. But that's what Chad says he likes. He says Fee is if Fee is in there, I'll take full game 2, but not without her. He says could be nothing because Elena Smith was in foul trouble. She was in foul trouble. He says, but if Kayla isn't making shots and their offense doesn't look good without Fee, I bet on the Lynx, and Kayla McBuckets decides she don't want to get no buckets. She got like 2 for 10 from the 3-point line. Really great looks in that game too against the Fever, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was tight. Bill says Lynx early first quarter, first half, same thing. Ball Talk says Lynx so damn limited off the dribble, no playmakers. I thought McBride bag was deeper than it is. Yeah, she doesn't have like a lot of lift. So they really, it's pick and roll. They remind me a lot of like the Pacers. Like it's just pick and roll and a lot of motion offense, try to find an open shot, whether it's Bridget Carlton, Elena Smith. It's Courtney Williams coming off a drag screen to try to get into her mid-range pull-up. Or, if somebody doubles, Kayla McBride is wide open from the three-point line. So that's a lot of what their offense is. Lynx not the same without Collier. I agree with that, Lord of the Realms. And Helm says it here. He says they rely on motion offense and people getting open off the ball. That's exactly what it is. Glad you cashed that Sky first quarter. Timeout Sports says Ryan has hinted of return with the recent tweet, I think Saturday. Okay, I didn't see that. I don't follow on Twitter, so I did not see that. Chad says interesting trend on buckets. Total since 2012. Since 2020, 160 of over 59 to over 160. Total 58% to the under. I think under as well, man. I do think under. I didn't look into trends. Like sometimes I come on here and I give you guys a whole bunch of trends, but I'm pretty sure if I look at real quick, let me just look at win percentage is greater than 60 and previous loss and previous loss and home favorite and line is greater than 5.5. Let's see. Yeah, not too much came up. It does look like a more of an under trend though. And season greater than 2018. Here we go, chat. So teams that have a 60% win percentage or better, which the Lynx do, coming off back-to-back losses, and they land at least 5.5, so they're expected to win the game by multiple possessions since the 2018 season, 10-4-1 to the under. That's 71.4%. And it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the last 7 have gone under, with one of them being a push. So yeah, that says Lynx. Says Lynx. It does say Lynx. They are only 3-11-1 against the number though. That says, that says under. They are 3-11-1 to the under, which says Atlanta covers, but Lynx win 10-5 straight up, but the under more so than anything else, 10-4-1. But I will wait for the feed news. Definitely wait for the feed news. Watch it says leans towards Elena Smith points under. Okay. Mike says I'm digging the over in this time. I don't agree with that, but it is the low total, so don't let me talk you off. I'm not playing the total. Probably not gonna play the game either. And Yasa picks, what's going on, my brother? Let's get over into the second game, the one that I actually that I do have a bet on, and that'll be the Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings. This line is actually coming down. I see 3.5s, and total shot up. Open 172.5, I want to say it was, and it is up to 177. Which really quickly, let me just double check something real quick. I just want to see if this is the highest total that we've had so far this season. I know it's one of the highest totals. Let's see. No, it's not the highest. It's the third. Hold on. It's the third highest total so far. So we had Aces and Wings was 179. Aces and Fever was 179. As well, and totals of 174 or higher. Totals of 174 or higher are 5-2 to the under. Interesting. Okay. All right. So let's jump into the actual cap for the game. We got a Fever team coming off 2 days rest. This is the last game of a short two-game road trip for them, of course. And Timmy Bagley is the only person listed on the injury report. She's missed the last 2 games, I want to say, maybe the last even 3 games as well. And then on the Dallas side, you got Jayla Brown, Satu Sabli, Maddie Segrist all remain out for this game. So I'm not sure why the line is coming down. There's no way I'm taking points with the Wings. Maybe somebody out here smarter than I am. Sometimes we see this crazy, line movement. I understand most people don't want to lay points with the Fever on the road, but it's no way I'm taking points with the Wings at home or, on the road, on a different planet, at a neutral site. None of that. I want nothing to do with the Wings. So let's start with the Fever first. In the situational spots, you guys can see here, 8-4 straight up and 9-3 against the number in their last 12 games. This team, outside of those few hiccups, they have played really, really good basketball. And these 12 games that are represented in their 8-4 straight up, 9-3 against the number have come since they got that break and they weren't playing. They had the chance to get some practices in and that type of thing. Very, very impressive win on the road in Minnesota. Of course, they were a dog in that spot, but now you just need them to win the game by 2 possessions. When I looked at the Fever on the road, only 5-9 straight up, 7-7 against the number. But when they're a road favorite, it's only happened 3 times. They've actually won every one of those games, and they're 2-1 against the number. They covered against the Dream, they covered against the Sparks early in the season, and they beat the Mystics by 2 in DC, but they were laying 4. So that was the game that they didn't cover back on June 10th. That was the game, Caitlin Clark coming out game too. She absolutely went crazy in that game. So then I look at the Wings. Like I said, I want nothing to do with this team. 5-19 straight up. Not only are they the worst team in the WNBA record-wise, but they also the worst team in the WNBA ATS-wise. 6-17-1 against the number. And at home, they've won 3 of the 10 games, but they're 1-8-1 against the number. By far the worst ATS team. So, maybe people aren't looking at what I'm seeing. Maybe people know something that I don't know. Maybe the injury report is being manipulated. I have no idea, but I don't want nothing to do with the Wings, though. That's what I do know. When I look at the Wings as in this spot specifically as a home dog, they're 1-5 straight up and against the number this season. They're 5-1 to the over because they can't stop anybody, which we'll touch on the defense in just a second. Each of their opponents, when they have been a home dog so far, each of their opponents have actually gone over their team total, and they're averaging 93.5. They're giving up 93.5 points per game in this spot, are the Dallas Wings in the 6 home games as a dog. So when I look at the total a little bit more, I hate playing these super high totals, 177. It might go up even higher, honestly. The Wings are an over team, 15-8-1 to the over, 65% on the full season, with 7 of their last games actually going up and over the total as well. And at home, they're 7-3 to the over. When you look at the Fever, they're 16-9 to the over, 8-6 to the over when they're on the road. The Fever have stayed under in 4 straight road games, but when I looked a little deeper, they actually played against some pretty good teams in their last 4 games where they went under on the road. They played against the Lynx, one of the top 10 defense, one of the top 5 defenses. The Aces, typically, they have been one of the top 5 defenses outside of last night. The Storm, of course, top 5 defense. And then one of those games was against the Mercury, but I don't really know what happened in that game. I think it was just a super high total. So 4 straight unders on the road for the Fever. And I talked about this when I did the show with my guy Flo. Shout out to Flo. I know he gave out some winners yesterday too. I forgot to shout out his. I know he had NECA 15 in the win. He had what else did he have? Jewel Lloyd assist, still ended up cashing. And I saw he had a first basket last night as well. So shout out to my guy Flo. But anyway, when me and Flo came on, I gave you guys early thoughts for this game. Mine haven't changed at all. I said I was going to take the Fever team total over as soon as it opened. That's the only way I'm looking at this game, man. And I'm looking at now that the line is coming down, I like the Fever too. I'm probably going to get there with the Fever. So when I look at the Wings, their last 10 games, they've given up the Fever. This is the Wings defense. They gave up 87 to the Sparks. Shout out to Azrae Stevens. She looked really, really good yesterday against Seattle. 87 to the Sparks, 100 to the Mercury, 104 to the Aces, 82 to the Dream. That's the only team that they were able to limit, even close to limit. 104 to the Mercury, 95 and 97 to the Storm, 88 to the Lynx, 92 and 97 to the Mystics. In those 10 games, in those 10 Wings games, they are allowing an average of 94.6 points per game, so right under 95, and they're losing by an average of 12 points per game. And they failed to cover 7 straight games in a row. There's nothing that I want to do with this Wings team, man. It's Fever minus the 3. I love that the number's coming down. If I can get a 3, I'll definitely take it. If it continues to come down, I'll take the money line with the Fever. I haven't bet the game yet, but what I did play with their team total up and over. The number is, when I sent it out last night, it was 89.5. I think it's moved to 90.5, but I think that they get there. I think The other thing I looked at real quick, because I need pace to be on my side. The Wings are only playing one way, and that is very, very fast. Last 5 games, these teams are Wings are second in pace, and the Fever are 4th in pace. So I love that. I love that the Wings can't stop anybody. Their opponents are averaging 95.4 points per game over the last 5 games. They really, really struggle to get stops. They're the worst defensive rated team, of course, in the WNBA with a defensive rating of 116.1. So, yeah, if the Sparks can go out there and get buckets, I definitely think that, Indiana and Caitlin Clark should be able to do the same exact thing here. So, yeah, I absolutely love that look. I wanted to there was something else that I told you guys that I just want to reiterate real quick before I go to the comment section. Well, actually, I got a couple props I want to talk about in this one too. So real quick, yes, on yesterday's show, day before yesterday's show, I talked about their team total over. So the Wings opponents are 23-1, not 23, 23-1 to their team total over when they're playing against the Wings at home. A perfect 10-0 to the over are the Wings opponents on their team total. So this was pretty easy for me. Just give me the Fever team total over 89.5. Still love it at 90.5 as well, but I sent it out last night at 89.5. Let's see what you guys are saying about this one. Oh, last thing I wanted to mention real quick. I'm not a big same game parlay bettor. I never come on here really talking about those things. But in my opinion, just watching the Fever play as much as I have over the past, honestly, the whole season, this is the perfect game for SGP. You could play these straight if you wanted to as well. But what I'd be looking at in this game, little 3-leg parlay. Caitlin, and you could play these straight too if you feel more comfortable, if you're a straight bettor like myself. Caitlin Clark over her 9.5 assists. I think the best number I saw was -130. I saw -125 last night, which was crazy to me. But Caitlin Clark over her 9.5 assists. -130 on DraftKings this morning before I started the show. And let's see. Caitlin Clark, so she only had 6 assists in that game against Minnesota. And if you guys go back and watch the show or you remember me talking about it, I said I wouldn't take Caitlin Clark props in that game. I said Minnesota would be locked in coming off a loss. Caitlin Clark went under. I think she went under on her points, her rebounds, and her assists. This is the bounce back game though. She's had 11 assists or more in 5 games, in all 5 games before she only had 6 against Minnesota. So and she's had 11 assists or more in 6 of her last 7 games. So love Caitlin Clark in the bounce back. I mean, they're going to run a lot of high pick and roll, and she's the facilitator. She'll have probably 23, 24 potential assist opportunities, maybe even more than that, especially with how fast that the Wings play. The next leg, Aaliyah Boston, over her 16.5 points. She's going over in back-to-back games with 17 versus the Minnesota Lynx, 21 versus the Phoenix Mercury. In 5 of her last 6 games, she's cleared the 17 or more as well. So I love Aaliyah Boston to have a big game today. And the Wings, post presence don't scare me at all. Tierra McCowan, Kalani Brown, they don't move the needle for me on defense. They just really, really struggle to move their feet. I think Aaliyah Boston has another big game today. The last leg, Kelsey Mitchell, over her 2.5 threes. Back-to-back games, she's hit 3 threes. And the attempts are just what does it for me. She's attempted 19 threes in those 2 games. She had a terrible game versus Washington where she shot 0 for 8. But again, the attempts were there. And again, they're playing against the Dallas Wings defense. So why not? Real quick, just to kind of put some defensive numbers to the Dallas Wings defense. They are the worst team against the above the break 3, allowing teams to shoot 48.3% over their last 5 games. And teams are making the third most above the break 3s against them over the last 5 games as well. So Indiana's not a team that shoots they actually are. They're actually number 1 in attempts. They just don't shoot it too well. I think that they'll shoot the ball well against against this version of the Dallas Wings defense. So real quick, I run it back. Little 3-leg parlay. Caitlin Clark over her 9.5 assists or straight bets. Over 9.5 assists for Caitlin Clark. Leah Boston over her 16.5 points. And Kelsey Mitchell over her 2.5 threes. I think Kelsey Mitchell is minus 115. Aaliyah Boston, I think, was minus 117. And Caitlin Clark was minus 130. But definitely shop around. Also, last one. Aaliyah Boston double-double. Minus 105 on FanDuel. She has back-to-back games with a double-double and 4 of her last 7. And why not against the Wings? Why not? Why can't she go out there and get double-digit rebounds? I think the points will be, pretty easy. The Wings, if they do anything well, sometimes it is rebounding the basketball, but the Indiana Fever actually been the second best rebounding team over the last 5 games. So I love the Fever props in this game. Let's go back and see what you guys are saying real quick, and then we'll do a quick recap and get up off of here. Jordan says Caitlin Clark triple-double. I could not talk you off real quick. I didn't get a chance to look at the odds for that. But Caitlin Clark triple-double. Let's see where we can find the best odds. This would be the game that I'll be playing Caitlin Clark for sure. No better defense to play against than this one. Caitlin Clark triple-double is... Damn. Unibet, if you got access to it. And Bet365 got a plus 1,200. And Bet Rivers got a plus 1,200. Wow. Yeah, I think Caitlin Clark triple-double worth a sprinkle. I didn't think the odds would be that long. Plus 800 on FanDuel seems more active, more realistic in my opinion. Caesar's got a plus 900. But yeah, I'm gonna probably put a little sprinkle on Caitlin Clark myself. Yeah, I can't talk myself off of that one. Hold on for a second. Y'all wait for a second with me. Caitlin Clark. I won Bet365 at plus 1,200. Triple-double. Plus 1,200. I like it. Like that, Jordan. Like that a lot. Let's see. What else y'all saying about this one? Wings are unbettable, period. I'm right there with you, Chad. Right there with you for sure. He says Fever team total over is the look. Wings just don't play defense ever. And I'm with you there as well. Dirty Rig, no new name in the chat, I think. He says Atlanta has 0 heart. I'd lay it. That is not true, Dirty Rig. I don't know if you listened to the breakdown, but I just said that they've covered 4 of their last 5 games. They haven't won, but they've covered. Like, they're 8-4 on the road against the spread, which is the best ATS record in the WNBA with the Lynx and the Liberty. So, yeah, you gotta dig a little bit deeper than that, man. If you continuously just fade them on the road, you've been losing money. They do cover. Let's see. Mark Diesel says Caitlin Clark under her 20.5. She's only been over 20 in about 5 or 6 games, I think. Nah, I would not be taking Caitlin Clark under in this game. Caitlin Clark could go for 30. She could also go for 15 assists. This is not the game I'll be taking Caitlin Clark under. Who's guarding her? Odyssey Sims locking her up? Yeah, definitely not there. Bill says he's taking Caitlin Clark over 9.5 assists. Justin says he bet the Fever team total at 89.5 after your show yesterday, or whenever your last show was. Think about you. Yeah, I didn't even see it open at 89.5. No. We got it at 89.5. It's up to 90.5 now. I'm thinking it's higher than that, but I agree there. Chad says only thing going for the Wings is size in the front line. Perhaps Boston struggles with them, but I don't see it, and I'm right there with you. Justin says he also played Caitlin Clark over 9.5 assists. SRT says Caitlin Clark never lets him down. Chad says number not being like 6.5 by now is disturbing, and I agree with that. Remember, I said I thought it was going to open about 6. I thought it was going to open about 6, and yeah, it is kind of disturbing, and that's why I'm taking the Fever. I'm not going to overthink this one. If I can get a +3, a -3 at the end of the end of the show, I'll be on them as well. Ball Talk says Wings are terrible, no offensive sets, no defensive schemes. They coach out there looking like the team mom to pull up in the minivan with the orange slices. Oh man, shout out Coach Trammell. Oh man, you know what? I'm not even gonna comment on that. Chad says, but hell, I had libs -5.5 yesterday, and that line moved 7 points against me. Didn't mean a damn thing. CLV has not meant anything these last 2 weeks, and I agree with that. Let's see. Definitely grabbing the under. I can see both teams getting stagnant at times. I can't, young man travel. I can't see the Fever getting stagnant. I mean, the way that they move the ball, it would just take a big letdown, in my opinion. And could it be a letdown? Yeah, but against the Wings defense, it's only one way I can bet it. Helm says Arike is Jordan Poole. She's worse. She's way worse. I mean, her shot selection is about Jordan Poole-ish, though. I agree. Boy, she's bad. She is so bad. What else y'all saying in the chat? I'm feeling the Fever to cover. I'm right there with you, Yasser. Helm says you and the whole world, and I would agree. Nordic says Caitlin Clark, you can get her 12 assists at +210 on FanDuel. I think that's a really good look. Like I said, all the games that she's gone over, she's had 11 or more, and Wings are second in pace, so it should be a very fast-paced game. Clark might get 15 assists in transition. McCowan can't keep up. I agree with this, Helm. Definitely agree with this. She's gonna run circles. She should have run circles around this Dallas Wings defense. If she was able to do that to Minnesota in the fourth quarter, I agree here. Caitlin Clark threes in play too. I agree with that. Okay. Christopher says, how do you feel about Caitlin Clark over her points, rebounds, and assists? Only thing that scares me is her points, because she doesn't always have to be aggressive offensively. Like, this is a game where it feels like Caitlin Clark could go out there and really get 15 assists, like Helm just said. It would not surprise me if she had 15 assists today. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Justin says he's going to play that triple-double at +1,200 as well. Says he's going to throw some piece of money on it. Real quick, I know Bet365 has the alternate assist lines. I wonder what Caitlin Clark, how high you can go on her 15 assists. Let's just double check it real quick. Well, not even double check it. Let's just check it in general. If you go to milestones, player assist milestones, Caitlin Clark to get 15 assists is +750. I think I like the triple-double a little bit more. I would need better odds than that. Her 13 assists is +310 on Bet365. Yeah, I need a little bit better odds than +750. 750 is not too bad though. Kicks XPR says, what do you think about the under for the Dream and the Lynx? Yeah, that's the only way I would play it. King Prediction says bad spot for the Lynx. Dream money line. How is it a bad spot? Let me know, King Prediction. I'm not understanding. Back-to-back losses, second straight home game. Let me know. Jamie says, would you still take it at over 90.5? Yeah, I put it in the write-up, Jamie, that I would take it up to 91.5. I mean, I've shouted out the numbers already. I think the Fever score whatever. They name whatever it is that they want to score. If they got to 100, wouldn't surprise me in this game at all. So, you know, an extra point doesn't move the needle too much for me at all in this one. KC says she's taking Odyssey Sims over 14.5 points. Who's guarding her? Nobody. She should absolutely cook in this game. Love that line. I know she was at 12.5 like 2 games ago, KC. That makes a lot of sense as well. You could throw her in the same game parlay, especially if Arike gonna shoot 2 for 13 from the field. Yeah, Odyssey Sims go out there, get her buckets. Absolutely. What she got to lose? King Prediction says Fever winning by 7. Caitlin Clark 3.5 threes. I couldn't talk you off, Jeremy. Not something that I'm looking to bet. And KC says Ariel and Poole are besties. What up, J Muse? Arike and Jordan Poole are besties. They do got the same shot selection. I will give you that, boy. Arike, man, boy, it's hard to watch her play basketball. What else y'all saying? Let's see. Helm says he remembers when Sims' points was at 9.5. Good times. Yeah, she crushing those lines. All right, so let's jump into a quick recap before we get up off here. The only thing that I did play so far is the team total over for Indiana. Like I said, I think that they can name whatever it is that they want to score. Caitlin Clark over her 9.5 assists. Over her 9.5 assists. It's also something that I probably will be betting. And then I know it's super square, but Indiana. Let's see where I can find the best number real quick. I do see it down to 3 on some books, or at least I thought I did. Let's double check that real quick. If I can get a 3, I am taking Indiana. Like Dallas, I'm not about to sit here and second guess myself all day with this one. You can get a 3.5 right now on DraftKings. So maybe you wait, throughout the day and see where the line goes. But I'm not taking the Wings. I want nothing to do with the Wings. Like I said, they're 0 I think 0-9 in their last 10. Real quick, let me just double check it before I give you guys a bad number. I know that they're 1-5 straight up and against the spread as home dogs this season. And in their last 9 games, they are they failed to cover 7 in a row. And I just watched the Sparks beat them by almost double digits. So yeah, I'll be looking towards the Fever. I don't think it's a letdown spot for the Fever here. They're also losing by an average of 12 points per game over their last 10 games. So yeah. And especially with the last thing I'll mention with this, I know it's a break coming up, but with the Sky beating the Aces last night, standings wise, you can't really play around with this game because you're trying to get one of those last playoff spots. If you're looking at the the standings in the WNBA, because the Fever but they are battling with the Chicago Sky, 7th and 8th seeds both right now, and they probably both make the playoffs because I don't think the Dream going to do any better after the break either. So yeah, you just want the better seed though, in my opinion. The Fever are a half a game in front of the Sky right now, 7th and 8th in the playoff position. So just wanted to mention those things, man. All right, I think that is it. Like I said, Caitlin Clark, the same game parlay would be, I'll mention that real quick. Caitlin Clark over her 9.5 assists, Aaliyah Boston over her 16.5 points, and Kelsey Mitchell over her 2.5 threes. I don't even know what the odds are. And then another look would be Aaliyah Boston double-double if I was going to play that. These should be in red because I have not bet them yet. But I will be on Caitlin Clark over 9.5 assists minus 130. I'll put that in right after the show. Not sure what I'm going to do with Atlanta in Minnesota, if I'm being honest, just because I want to see if he plays. But I think I like the under a little bit more than anything else. Not enough to add it to the list quite yet, though, would be the way that I would look in that game. Under 153, but we'll see if the total goes up and maybe make a bet then. That'll be it for the show today, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in as always. Resources, as I always share, are here. Check out moneyballer.com if you guys have not, especially with no WNBA coming up. We do got a All-Star game on Saturday. The All-Star game will be on Saturday night in Phoenix. But you guys can cap MLB. I will be taking some time to get started, a jump start on the NFL already, kind of building models and looking at stuff like that. I also saw that the NBA season win totals have dropped, so maybe make a video looking at some of those win totals based on some of the things that we saw so far coming up. But I'll be taking a nice little break. I'm leaving tomorrow actually, just a quick little getaway for the rest of the week and the weekend. And coming back, looking forward to next week too, just kind of chilling a little bit. OddsJam, as always, I like to shout them out. You guys can get 25% off your first month if you sign up over there using code CBC. It's the one-stop shop for all of your all the things that you're looking for. I use the sportsbook screen page, but I mean there's a ton of different things over there. They got betting calculators. They have arb betting if people are in the arbitration betting. A lot of different things for you guys to be able to make money, and the subscription will pay for itself. Definitely check out OddsJam if you guys have not and you're interested. And that'll be it, man. Link for all my plays will be in the description. If you guys enjoyed the video, you're still watching, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, share the show, like the show, subscribe to the show. Let me know what you guys are betting today. And as always, bet responsibly. Best of luck. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I will catch you guys. I will catch you guys in the next one, man. Y'all be good. I'm out.